Far beneath the tempestuous surface of the Southern Ocean, where sunlight has never penetrated and the pressure is enough to crush titanium, lies a realm of perpetual darkness. It is an alien world right here on Earth, an abyssal plain largely unmapped and profoundly silent. In the winter of 1964, a routine scientific expedition pierced this void with a single, fragile tether of light and technology. What that tether pulled back from the inky depths would challenge our understanding of the ocean floor, sparking a debate that bridged the gap between marine biology and extraterrestrial speculation. We investigate the Eltanin anomaly, a geometric impossibility resting in the mud off the coast of Cape Horn. The USNS Eltanin was a vanguard of polar research, a floating laboratory tasked with exploring the harsh, unforgiving waters surrounding Antarctica. Manned by scientists from various disciplines, the vessel was engaged in a systematic mapping of the seafloor, employing deep-sea cameras lowered on miles of cable. On August 29, 1964, the crew was conducting a standard photographic run at a staggering depth of 13,500 feet. The process was agonizingly slow, requiring immense patience as the camera rig drifted just above the abyssal ooze, firing its strobe light at regular intervals to capture whatever lay hidden in the pitch black. When the film was eventually developed in the ship's darkroom, one particular frame arrested the attention of the researchers. Amidst the barren, featureless expanse of the ocean floor, illuminated by the harsh flash of the strobe, stood an object of startling symmetry. It consisted of a central vertical stalk rising straight out of the sediment, intersected by several horizontal spokes that terminated in small spherical nodes. The structure looked undeniably mechanical, resembling a complex telemetry array or a five-pronged antenna. In a chaotic environment shaped by currents and biological detritus, this highly organized geometric shape was a jarring aberration. The sheer depth at which the object was photographed compounded the mystery. At over 2.5 miles below the surface, the environment is incredibly hostile, characterized by near-freezing temperatures and crushing hydrostatic pressure. Human engineering in the mid-20th century had scarcely begun to conquer such extremes, making it highly improbable that this was a piece of discarded terrestrial technology, let alone a secret military installation. Furthermore, the object appeared to be standing perfectly upright, defying the strong benthic currents that sweep across the ocean floor. The researchers were left with a profound puzzle, holding a photograph of an artifact that simply had no right to exist where it was found. As the image circulated beyond the confines of the scientific community, it ignited a firestorm of speculation. Without a clear geological or biological explanation, the void of understanding was quickly filled by more extraordinary hypotheses. Fringe researchers and enthusiasts of the unexplained seized upon the photograph, dubbing it the Eltanin Antenna. They argued that its precise right-angled geometry was the hallmark of intelligent design. Theories proliferated that the object was a submerged telemetry beacon placed by an advanced extraterrestrial civilization, or perhaps a relic of a lost, technologically superior human epoch. The stark contrast between the organic mud and the seemingly machined artifact fueled a narrative that transcended conventional science. Oceanographers and marine biologists, however, approached the anomaly with a stringent skepticism. They understood that the ocean is a master of deception, frequently sculpting geological formations or harboring biological oddities that mimic artificial constructs. Yet the initial attempts to classify the object failed. It did not match any known geological process of mineral accretion, nor did it resemble the typical flora or fauna catalogued in deep-sea surveys of the era. The scientific establishment found itself in an uncomfortable limbo, possessing undeniable photographic evidence of an anomaly but lacking the empirical data required to categorize it. The image remained an unresolved footnote in the annals of oceanography for decades. The enduring fascination with the deep-sea anomaly highlights a fundamental quirk of human cognition known as pareidolia. Our brains are evolutionarily hardwired to detect patterns, particularly those that suggest order, purpose, or familiarity, even in random stimuli. When confronted with the stark, branching symmetry of the object on the seafloor, the human mind instinctively maps it to known artificial structures, such as a radio mast. This cognitive bias makes it incredibly difficult to objectively evaluate anomalous data, as our initial perceptions are heavily colored by our terrestrial experiences and technological frame of reference. The challenge for investigators was to strip away these innate biases and look at the photograph through the lens of pure biological possibility. The resolution to this decades-long enigma did not come from a subsequent expedition to Cape Horn, but rather from the dusty archives of marine biology. In the early 2000s, researchers re-examining historical biological surveys made a crucial connection. They turned their attention to the pioneering work of Alexander Agassiz, who had dredged the deep oceans in the late 19th century. Within the detailed illustrations of Agassiz's reports lay the key to the mystery. The purportedly alien artifact was not a product of engineering, but a masterpiece of evolutionary adaptation. The Eltanin antenna was definitively identified as Chondrocladia concrescens, a remarkable species of deep-sea sponge. These organisms are part of the Cladorhizidae family, a group of sponges that have radically diverged from their shallow-water cousins. To survive in the nutrient-poor abyss, they have abandoned the traditional sponge method of passively filtering water through porous bodies. Instead, they have evolved into something far more predatory. The striking symmetrical structure captured in the 1964 photograph is, in fact, a highly specialized carnivorous sponge. The central stalk of Chondrocladia concrescens anchors it firmly to the muddy seafloor, while the radiating spokes, which looked so much like metallic antennas, are actually covered in microscopic, hook-like spicules. These spicules act like biological Velcro. When small crustaceans or other deep-sea organisms are swept against the sponge by the ocean currents, they become hopelessly entangled in the microscopic hooks. Slowly, the sponge's cells migrate toward the trapped prey, enveloping and digesting it over a period of days. The geometric perfection that initially suggested intelligent design is entirely functional, maximizing the surface area available to intercept scarce food particles drifting through the abyss. This revelation transformed the nature of the anomaly from a question of extraterrestrial visitation to a profound demonstration of biological ingenuity. The existence of a carnivorous sponge challenges our fundamental assumptions about the boundaries of plant and animal life, blurring the lines of traditional taxonomy. It reveals an ecosystem operating under rules entirely alien to the sunlit world above, where the sheer scarcity of resources drives evolution to produce forms that are breathtakingly strange and ruthlessly efficient. The deep ocean, it turns out, does not need extraterrestrial architects to produce wonders. The slow, unrelenting pressures of natural selection are more than capable of engineering the extraordinary. The journey from a mysterious photograph to the identification of Chondrocladia concrescens serves as a powerful testament to the scientific process. It underscores the danger of leaping to extraordinary conclusions when faced with the unknown. The initial misidentification was not a failure of observation, but a limitation of context. Until the existence of highly structured carnivorous deep-sea sponges was widely understood, the antenna hypothesis, however improbable, filled a void in our collective knowledge. The resolution of the mystery required patience, historical cross-referencing, and a willingness to accept that the natural world is often far more bizarre than our most imaginative science fiction. Today, the photograph taken by the USNS Eltanin remains a captivating artifact, not of alien intervention, but of our ongoing quest to illuminate the darkest corners of our planet. It stands as a reminder of the vast, unexplored frontiers that still exist beneath the waves, teeming with life forms that continue to defy expectations. As we push our submersibles deeper and our imaging technologies further, we must remain open to the astonishing realities of the deep sea. The anomaly off the coast of Cape Horn was finally solved, but it leaves us with an exhilarating certainty. In the abyssal depths, there are countless other mysteries waiting in the dark, ready to challenge our perceptions and expand our understanding of life on Earth.